Welcome to Marsha's Plate, a Black trans-inclusive feminist podcast. A place where we know that not everybody is invited to the cookout. And we also know that every single day is a brand new day, and we have the power to make a difference today. So let's do this.
It's a new day, brand new day, make it better than yesterday. You can always find a way to turn it all around again. It's a new day, brand new day, make it better than yesterday. You can always find a way to start over again. Tuesday, when the sun rises, you can start over again. A new day, you can make it better than yesterday. It's a new day, it's a new day, new day. There's a way you can turn it around. Trust me, there's a way out. There's more time. Just don't give up. When the sun rises on a new day, you got another chance. Yeah, 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 yeah. A new day, you got another chance.
If you want to join the conversation, you can hashtag Marsha's Plate. You can follow us on most social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of that. Just search for Marsha's Plate, MARSHASPLATE. Y'all ready? Let's get started.
Hey.
Okay, peace,
What's
how y'all
going
doing?
on? Oh, so the Knicks is going to the championship.
Yeah, they're in the NBA finals. This is the first time that they've been in the finals for like 27 years. But y'all's president has decided that he would like to be in the crowd, and it's fucking up a lot of shit. And like logistically, I think the game is at like 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. You know what I mean? Like all that in New York, or New Jersey rather, at the Garden. Also, they tried to tell us, people in New York don't fuck with him like that. They tried to tell us when he ran the first time and the second time, because they know about a lot of his shenanigans and all the kind of bullshit and bankruptcies and how disruptive he's been to them locally. So it's been interesting to hear someone talk. Have y'all heard about this?
No, I don't be checking for sports. And
Can you check again?
Don't be checking.
Okay. I mean, it's funny. I don't sport the way I used to sport, but I really like the playoff aspect. That's kind of when I get into stuff. I don't really follow necessarily the whole season, but it's been interesting today, especially the last 2 days, to really hear a lot of people from New York, from New Jersey, who are definitely over it, that he has decided to be so disruptive, because like there's extra security and all this kind of stuff. That's just making it really difficult for the average person to go to the game.
If it wasn't Trump, would this be a point of negativity towards the public if it wasn't Trump? Say that a normal fucking president wanted to go to, let's say a qualified president from New York, because Donald Trump is a New Yorker from what I'm to understand, or it's a big thing. So if it was a president who wasn't as problematic as him, and this is the first time that they have gotten this game at the Madison Square Garden with Knicks being at the finals, would this be a big deal if it wasn't Trump? The logistic, wouldn't they just fucking deal with it because it's the fucking president?
Yeah, no, it would still be a big deal. Anytime you have a public, like the president or a governor or anything like that, especially the president coming in, that changes everything, because now it's extra weights to get into the game. You got to have a clear backpack, like all the logistics change because of the security protocol. And so it's making the average person that's there who wants to go to the game, the average person, maybe not even the average person, the person that paid apparently like thousands of dollars for tickets, is going to fuck up their experience. So that's why he's the first president to go to like an NBA finals game. Obama went.
No other president has done this before.
No, this is unprecedented. This is not something that's normal. It's not something that the NBA is prepared for. It's not something, any of this shit. And more than likely, like what happened with Trump when he went to like Arizona and some of these other states, New York's gonna have to foot that bill. He ain't paying them back. You know what I'm saying? They gonna have to foot the bill for all the Social Security. A lot of folks said this might be the line for a lot of people, apparently. All this other shit, the racism, the sexism, the homophobia, the transphobia. That wasn't the
Raping
line.
children wasn't the line, motherfucker.
Let them lose this game today. Let them lose this game today. We being there and fucking all that shit up. For a lot of people, that's going to bring more attention to why people don't fuck with you. It's probably going to increase.
I don't.
We do live in a fickle country. You know what I'm saying? Settler colony. We do live in, folks here love sports more than politics. A lot of people do. And just let them lose. Let them lose tonight. You're going to get booed. They're already protesting outside of Madison Square Garden, like right now. Like the game ain't even started. Like right now, if you go to YouTube or you look online today, the entire time we shoot today, there's people outside being like, fuck Donald Trump, like right now. So, why?
Especially in a city that is having so many good effects from their now elected mayor. There's been apparently just really good outcomes when it comes to him. You know how you keep saying that that's our president. That's not my motherfucking president, but that's my motherfucking mayor. I ain't never lived in New York in a day of my life. That's my mayor.
That's your mayor.
That's my mayor.
They are. I'm just saying it's kind of crazy because they are.
I'm just tired of his orange ass. I'm tired of his orange ass. I'm tired of the selective outrage about him. I'm tired of the Latin outrage about him. I'm just so tired. I'm tired of him. I'm tired of the motherfuckers involved with him. I'm tired of the motherfuckers that voted for him. I'm tired, tired, tired. Like, I'm ready for all them to die. Now.
No, I'm ready for all of them to die.
In other news, another type of finals. I don't know if that's a good segue, but in other news here in Texas, the Carmelo Anthony case has started to deliberate. And
can you explain about this, the baby Carmelo Anthony?
Yes,
some people might get confused.
Right. This is not the tall, yummy caramel, basketball player. This is not him. That's what I know about basketball. The fine ones. Anyway, this is the teenage 17-year-old who, at the time he was 17, who was being bullied at a track meet at a school during, a whole little situation. He was bullied by two twins. This is my understanding of it. Of course, there's other spins happening now. But from my understanding, based on what the witnesses have said to the cops, and now what the witness has said in the on the stand, they was bullying him, trying to get him out of their little tent. And even though he was invited to the tent, and he basically told their ass, yo, if you put your hands on me while y'all coming up all aggressive and being all weird, trying to get me out of his tent. He don't say all that, but he says, if don't touch me. I don't, don't touch you. Don't put your hands on me. And these big twin bullies that much bigger than him tried to come and bully him out of the tent. And baby, it was a fuck around and found out moment. Tons of spinning and tons of, lies and that has been told. But now we're finally getting to the trial where we're getting to hear what people have to say. And I'm hearing just a bunch of weird shit. Because I remember one of the witnesses that I listened to, basically everything he said until the end of his testimony was Carmelo didn't initiate this. Like, they came up to him, they were bothering him, and then at the end, they asked him, well, who do you think was at fault? He was like, Carmelo, what? How the fuck you get to there when you just explained with multiple questions, explain that he was not the aggressor? But, it's just getting crazy. It's getting annoying. And yeah, that just started over the weekend.
What's fucking me up is now, just in not even a full day of testimony and deliberation, it's appearing as if one of the first lies that was told was that the twin brother was even there when it occurred, what was even actually on the scene in the moment, part of the group. It's appearing to me that the twin brother lied about seeing every detail because he's creating his own narrative to make his brother look as innocent as possible. From what I'm seeing. But honestly, to be completely honest, y'all, and I hate to put this negativity in the universe, but I'm gonna tell it how it fucking is. I've lost hope in the case already. They got an all white jury.
Yeah, I thought that was weird as hell.
All white jury.
It's an all white jury
in a state that's like 20-something, 30% black.
Yep, crazy. They had three.
And the last,
wait. They had three black people who were potentially on the jury, but guess what? Guess what made them disqualify them three people? Just what would you think? No. Of course that. But what are the reason that they can't say that? What was the reason that you think that they gave? Was what would you guess, other than being black, that they would give that those three black people wouldn't be a good fit for the jury? What would you think?
I don't know.
What about you, Bree?
Because they're school faculty.
Yes, that's it.
Because they're involved in the school system. That's the excuse that they fucking use. And for me, that's the opposite.
The school faculty, period.
They are educators, period.
And to me, that is the opposite of why you would pick a juror. You would pick a juror who understands the inner workings of the school system currently, what's going on amongst students.
Right.
Yeah. It is wild.
And if school was going to be an issue, if working in education was going to be an issue, then them jurors shouldn't even have made it that far.
Yeah.
Facts. And we're in some times right now too, because a lot of people are pushing because they know on the federal level, the Justice Department's not going to step in. So people are, kind of, doing a little bit more than they would do when we were under not this racist son of a Klansman regime that has both the House and the Senate. So there is no check and balance right now. But we got to keep pushing, keep voting, and make that happen. Because we don't have to be like this. We can push, we can change this.
Y'all ugly ass president and this dumb ass case of them railroading this black boy then wore me out in the first 15 minutes.
Welcome to America.
Right. Speaking of that, on that note, I saw a post. I've been a little under the weather. My bad. I saw a post by what's his name that comes with the foolishness. That's the teacher, Umar, Dr. Umar. He made some post and he's like, some shit about, the Democrats are just as racist as the Republicans and all this kind of shit. Like you saying something special and new. That's not special and new. At some point, you must have been confused. But I'm just saying, no. But I'm saying they're both racist parties. Nobody's confused about that.
Dr. Umar, I believe, is trying to prepare his audience for when they find out that he's been being funded by people who he's supposed to be against. Stop even entertaining him. Dr. Umar done been canceled since we found out he was a deadbeat fucking dad that didn't even acknowledge his fucking daughter. Like, ain't nobody checking for Dr. Umar.
I always say, I think about the sex worker, the OnlyFans beautiful Janice Hart, when she said, when niggas ain't taking care of their kids, baby, she was like, I ain't got no conversation for your motherfucking ass, except for why you ain't helping that bitch with them kids.
Soon as a nigga tell me that he got kids, I'ma always wonder where them little motherfuckers at. And if he don't never got them, every conversation is gonna be about that, because go and help that bitch with those kids. The fuck, nigga, this ain't no safe space for you to be fucking around, dirty bitch. The hell? How did you sleep, queen? How did those kids sleep?
Anyway, let us know what y'all think about Trump going to the Knicks game. Let us know what y'all think about all of the foolishness going on with 17-year-old killing one of the twins here in Texas. I think it was in Texas. Yeah, here in Texas. And let us know. Don't let us know. Let us know where the fuck, why Dr. Umar ain't taking care of the motherfucking kids. Hashtag Marsha
When's that
Play.
pool gonna open?
Make
Hashtag Marsha
make
Play.
sure make sure you hashtag MARSHASPLATE because we really
Okay.
want to know the TEA on Dr. Umar not taking care of the motherfucking kids.
Say this up, y'all.
Oh my God, I want to thank all of our new patrons this week. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yay, 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 yay. So not only are you helping to sustain this particular podcast, I also donate to other podcasts. I donate to other organizations. I have my finger on the pulse of the community, and I know a lot of grassroots organizations that are doing great work out here. So you're not only helping to sustain us, you're helping to sustain other people in a community, because I put my money where my mouth is. That's just the kind of bitch I am. Community as fuck. So thank you. I really, really appreciate you. And if you have not become a patron, why have you not? You can donate as low as $1 a month. It doesn't matter. Anything helps. Please. Do I have to play Sarah McLachlan and show you puppies? Like, what do I have to do? Do I have to resort to what the white people do to get you to give them money?
Anyway, the link is in the bottom. Back to the show.
Oh, did y'all watch the Tony Awards yesterday? Or know about any of the productions going on? I know we're all kind of like somewhat theater kids. And Cats, the Jellicle Ball, won some Tony Awards yesterday. And
They
Queen
won
Jean.
all three of the ones that they were up.
Yes. My bad. Thank you, Diamond. And Queen Jean is the first Black trans woman to win a Tony. Out Black trans woman to win a Tony for her work around costume. She was nominated for 2 different awards. One for best costume design for a play called Liberation, and then best costume design for a musical. And then she won for that as well. Yeah, did y'all watch the Tonys?
I watched the opening. I didn't watch the rest of it because I had stuff to do. But I watched the opening with Pink doing Lady Marmalade with Megan Thee Stallion.
What about you, Bree?
And I, of course, read all the highlights, and I had to get into Queen Jean's effect, and I also had to get into the other effect that she had designed for the night on the red carpet. So yeah, I did my typical journalistic shit, honey. My shit I learned from Diamond, honey, looking at the articles, getting into the pictures.
Okay. Were you following any of these musicals like prior to the Tonys?
I'm so disappointed in myself because I've been told Arturo when they were off Broadway that I was going to be at the Jellicle Ball, being somebody who covers ballroom and who covers the classical art of ballroom and that comes from ballroom. This was totally something that I should have covered. Unfortunately, I was going through my things, but I hate that it seems like I'm a bandwagon rider, but I've been continuing and will continue to give them all their flowers. It has been a great production from the beginning. I love where it's at. I love where the cast are going in their journey right now of being seen and being discovered in the arts. Y'all are officially solidified in performing arts. It's no question at this point. I think these Tony Awards and these recognitions were not just for the Jellicle Ball, but also for the amazing things that y'all have created and done in ballroom too, that has not
Mm-hmm.
been truly appreciated and recognized. I think that this is a stamp for y'all. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing all the magic that they're going to continue to create on the stage. I'm looking forward to see all the productions that's going to come out of this. I'm looking forward to see the different castings that's going to come out of this. I'm very excited to see what our sister Temperance is going to do next. The evolution of her voice in this journey of the Jellicle Ball is astounding to me. Being somebody, and you could hear it if you If you listen to the journey of the Jellicle Ball, she even admitted herself that she was somebody who lost faith in her gift of singing. She never thought that it was going to end up serving her in life. She stepped away from it, she walked away from it, and she's truly embraced it. And I think that it is a modern day Cinderella story that a lot of people may not be seeing happening right in front of us right now. So yeah, I'm just really excited for the whole cast. I'm really excited for performing arts overall. A lot of these people I wanted to work with in ballroom, but I get the feeling that I'm going to end up working with them somewhere else.
So the how I was introduced to Chastity and Tempers the same person. Y'all know I'm not connected to ball like that. So I usually meet people in their their fish capacity. In
On
the
the streets and things,
on the streets and things in the
in the
world,
In the
daylight.
world,
in the
in the
daylight.
world scenarios,
Yes,
yeah, yeah.
in their secular capacity.
Okay, come
Secular.
on.
So, I met her. I was first introduced to her. Y'all might not remember this because y'all know I'm an old internet person. But right before this trans renaissance happened, there was a reality TV renaissance happening where reality TV was coming into popularity. It was coming into where people was really putting some money behind reality TV. And so one of the things that they tried to do, it never came out, but because I was a transmedia person at the time, I was able to get sneak previews of what they were doing. And they were building a production of trans girls in a reality show. And one of those girls was Tempress. One of those girls was Trace Lissette, who is the star of Monica, the and Trans Manifest. Um and so those are the two that I remember. I can't remember the other ones, but it was just some of the popular trans girls, and they recorded a pilot episode of the reality show. It never came out, but they recorded it, and somebody sent to me so that I can, because I was doing media, so I can talk about it and review it. And I was ready because I was like, "Ooh, this is about to be like the first of its kind, a all trans reality TV show cast, and it's not rooted in, the Zeus Network kind of ghetto bullshit." Because we know we got that now. But
Right.
they were really being legit, and they and following them in their journey, in their careers. And it was kind of a fucking dope ass idea, but it was kind of I feel like it was too early for its time, because this is like 2009, 10, 11, somewhere
Mm-hmm.
around here. It was a little bit too early for its time. It was after Laverne and had one Diddy, after Jayla had one Diddy, and come on, Diddy being a trans
I think
reality
I think
TV
a
icon.
couple I think a couple of those reality shows were before their time. The makeover show that Laverne had did, and the modeling show that Dominique, aka Electra, aka Tyra,
Yeah.
was on, her and Isis. Yeah, I think all of those shows were too early, but
Yeah.
they should definitely bring them back.
Isis was on had just was didn't win, but she was on American Next Top Model. And so it was around this time when it was kind of like budgeting, that trans renaissance. The tipping point hadn't happened on the times. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
That little area of time. And so I remember this particular scene where Chastity, aka Tempress, she one of the scenes of the reality show, she went to a church and she sung a solo at the church, and her voice was so fucking good. I was like, what? This bitch can blow. What the fuck is happening? We need to have this on TV. I was so excited as somebody who sings and loves to sing, hearing her voice, and was so moved at her being in this church and the depth of the questions that they were talking about. It wasn't no bullshit ass shit going on. Like, it wasn't something that you wouldn't be proud of. It was like, oh my God, because each one of them had their own talent. And I just was so excited. And the fact that it didn't come out was so disappointing. So that is how I was introduced to her. You know, of course, I know she was a ball icon at the time. She was in the ball scene or whatever. But for me, that was my introduction to her. And to see her come from that in those kind of situation falling. And sometimes because we've been friends on like Facebook and stuff, and we've been in each other's inboxes, I have seen her kind of have these moments that kind of seem like they're about to pop and then they don't. And so to see her in this Cat's Jellicle Ball that was funded for one of the funders and producers of it is La Roche, putting his money where his mouth is. Um, to see her be front and center with her voice on full display and to be in this moment where she's being celebrated through her talent and just all the things that she's been through. I'm just so proud of her. I am so excited about her future. I'm just in awe at what Chastity, and she's a podcaster now, so we podcast sisters. I'm just proud of where she is now, and she's just amazing and continue to be.
So my question for you two is, obviously there's a lot of young people, and not just young people, trans folks who are in the performing arts that have been inspired by everything you both have just shared and what they saw this weekend and what they're going to continue to see in clips and all that kind of stuff. For you, was there a moment where you started to see yourself in the arts before you transition or like after you transition?
It's one of the reasons that I stalled in transitioning. Anybody who knows me knows that I went through a non-binary genderqueer period. And it was at that point I had realized that I was trans, and I was fighting against it because a career in performing arts was one of the things that I knew that or felt like I would be giving up because I didn't see myself in the arts. I didn't see myself not where I wanted to be. In particular, I wanted to be a rapper. So I didn't see myself there. I thought I was doing too much and having too high expectations in being a queer rapper, let alone a trans one. So,
what about you, Diamond?
When I was growing up, when people would ask me what I wanted to be, I said a teacher. I wanted to be a teacher, and because of my transness is at the time that I transitioned, teachers were being fired for transitioning. Teachers was being let go. So that never was when I was younger, a viable thing to kind of follow because I felt like people with kids and how they feel about trans people, I just felt like that was never something that I would be able to do. But I do feel like I have become a teacher of some sorts. And, that's what I wanted to be. Now, the arts was something that I just always fucking loved. I never thought about them as a career. I just never thought about them as a career because I never been so exceptional in any of my artistic talents that I felt like they could be a career. Like I've never understand. So I feel like I can sing. I feel like I can sing better than the average person. But I do Kiki Wyatt is my cousin. We grew up going to church together. There's a certain level of singing that Kiki motherfucking Wyatt does that I don't do. And so, if that is what I understand, that is what I grew up as the standard of a bitch that can sing. We talk about Kiki Wyatt. And so, I never sung at that level. Even if y'all ever heard her brother sing, even to their level, I never really sung to that. So I never to myself was good enough to even think about professionally in that kind of way. Acting, because I was queer and wanted to play women's roles, if I wasn't acting, I don't know how that would have played out. So I never really pursued it because I didn't want to deal with the anxiety of auditioning as a trans woman and then being let down. Especially, we're talking about when I was younger. Now that I'm older, maybe I'll play around, but it was all my transness was always a barrier, or my level of talent was always a barrier to me. But I never, ever, 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 ever let that stop me from creating or
Mhm.
participating. just for the sake of the art, just for the sake of doing it. So it doesn't have to be a profession. I love to paint. I got my own paintings all over my house. I love to draw. I got my own drawings all over my house. I love to write songs. I put songs out all the fucking time on my SoundCloud. Because I am creating them for me. It is not for me to be, oh, I want to sell it on iTunes. It is because I created this and I love it and I want to put it out for whoever want to listen to it. So I had to learn that I fucking love the arts. I love creating, and that's a part of my brain that I need to flex. I need to flex my creativity. And so it doesn't need to be a career. So I didn't really need to be inspired for it to be a career, but I love to see where people are now. I love to see people exploring it. And so I wish that I had the support when I was younger to explore some things. But now that I'm older, I don't have any desire to be a famous actress or a famous singer, songwriter. But I do have a desire to have my art exist in the world and people enjoy it if they want to explore it. So that's what I think about the arts.
Well, honey, I'm down for everybody listening. I'm down to be a Grammy Award winning songwriter. I'm not a singer, honey. I can studio sing enough to get the demo done. But baby, I'm down to be the Grammy Award winning songwriter, honey, baby. No, it's actually a bit of the opposite for me. I think it sounds like to me, Diamond, that you've found your calling with your voice. And you know how you found your calling with your voice. I think for me, it's been the opposite. I've been running from my calling for so long. For me, growing up, I didn't even think about being in the arts. I always wanted to be a scientist. I always wanted to be helping people and healing people. But at a certain age, it was professionals around me that was like, oh no, like you have enough ability where you could do this professionally. And I believe that you do too, Diamond. You just didn't have the confidence or didn't care. Like your calling was something else. You feel more strongly about other things. But for me, it was like when people around me was like, oh no, there's something there. It made me, I found home in the arts. I found my people in the arts immediately. Like it just made sense. But I had people who were in charge of me at the time. They had the idea that, oh no, you can never make money from this. So no, you need to stay away from this. And now we're here. Now we're here, and I'm back in a situation where professionals are around me, and again, and they're like, oh no, honey, baby, no, you still you have it, and it's a little it's at least a little bit more than the average person, but I'm being modest. I don't want to scare you.
I guess for myself, that first time, Honorable Orochimaru Taro. I was doing all kinds of other stuff as a young person, went to art school, and I was in this role, maybe the 7th or 8th grade, and I played a man. And I was like, oh, I'm a little too comfortable in this role. Okay. Like for real. It was like the lead of the show. And I just, it was a really affirming situation, but it also scared the shit out of me around being trans, right? Because it was like, and not really even having all the language around that shit, it's middle school. I think my mom thought I was a little too comfortable in that role, okay? Yeah, going to art school for theater, thinking that's what I'm going to do, doing forensics and all that kind of stuff. Kind of similar to you, Diamond, the era, it just didn't seem possible to like continue to pursue a career in the arts in that way. I went to a school where it's like, we go down to Chicago to audition for all the theater schools. It's literally like a training ground, but it's free public school, And yeah, I think also after top surgery, I have to have a revision done. So I don't have the same range of motion I used to have. That makes me feel very insecure about doing theater, doing dance, doing things with my body, because I don't feel like I have the same capacity until I get a revision to be able to move my body and be flexible with my body and do the things that, you know what I'm saying? If you're on stage, you need to be able to warm up. You need to be able to move. You need to be able to be flexible. And honestly, not all the time. Now I'm saying that out loud. It's very ableist. And that's something that didn't even cross my mind back then,
I mean,
But
performing can be a very ableist profession in its definition.
right. I mean, but it doesn't. It's not exclusively right today,
Oh
especially
no,
what's already before.
absolutely. We definitely have disabled
Yeah.
icons and legends who have mastered performing arts.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, definitely was inspired by this weekend with the Tonys. Definitely also inspired by this conversation with y'all around all of this. I do music stuff, but I keep it to myself. Like you don't. Well, no, you're from SoundCloud. I'm not on SoundCloud, but anyway, inspired by this conversation. Anyway, let us know what's going on with y'all with the arts for the theater kids. Oh, time out. One more thing. The musical Ragtime. Um, that's the first musical I think I saw in person, and with Audra McDonald and Brian Stokes Williams and Nichelle Lewis and Joshua Henry play the leads in this current revival. Uh, Nichelle Lewis should have won. I just want to say that for best lead and lead actress in the musical, but Joshua Henry did win, and that also changed the game to see an ensemble with so many Black cast members, right, in these various different roles, not just one or two people, but like various roles. Just want to name that as well. So it was exciting to see that yesterday. Anyway, let us know about your experience in the arts. Were you a theater kid too? Were you kind of nerding out? Are you continuing to pursue your career or your vibe, regardless if it's professional or not? Because when you have that calling in the arts, it's just there. Hit us up. Let us know what you think. Hashtag Marsha Split. Free.
Be sure. Hashtag MARSHASPLATE.
This week has been full of amazing movies. I've been really kind of trying to get catched up on the movies that are out lately. And so one of the movies I went to see is God Is with it has Sterling Brown, Vivica A. Fox. It has um two new actresses and Erica Alexander from Living Single,
Oh, word.
and it's just a amazing cast. And so I went to see that. I'm not talking about that today because I'm gonna do a whole live about that on Friday. Go see Is God Is. It's dope. Go see it at the theaters. Don't bootleg it because we need our Black directors, especially our Black
Right.
women directors, to be supported so they can get funded and blah 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 blah. So go to the movies and see it. Um, you know, but even if you don't do that, if you can't do that because you can't afford it or whatever, and you bootleg it, do some kind of content around it so that people can know and it can be promoted so that we can make sure that our Black women directors are getting more money and getting more funding and support in regards to what they are
Visibility.
creating.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
because this is the first time ever that a Black woman has went from play. I wrote the play, adapted the play, and directed a film of my play. So there's
Oh,
people who
wow.
did, two of the
Used to do
three,
that. Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
somebody who went from, I wrote a whole idea, created, and it was successful in this play, and then I got funded and became a movie and directed, went from adapted it and all did it herself, and it was amazing. And so go watch that. Anyway, I'm gonna talk about that later. But what I want to talk about, because this is this week, it just came out, is Scary Movie 6.
That's that's wild. Like I didn't realize it was on 6 at this point.
Yeah, it was on 6, and
Wow.
it is a comedy movie. It is originally it was led and created by the Wayans brothers, the
Right,
Wayans
right.
family, and they end up whoever they were working with, I don't know if it's Paramount or I don't know who it was. I don't know who they was working with. They was working with somebody, one of the the big companies, and something went on with the money. You gotta do the research on that. But they went on and did more movies without them under the same thing because they owned it. Of course, giving them their cut and blah 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 blah, but they weren't participating in it. And then this is one of the films where they come. This is the film that they come back to the franchise.
Okay.
And so everybody, there has been, AI and blogs and shit really trying to make it seem like they were going to be problematic. Ooh, the old people that I seen posts where it's saying that, oh, the millennials, the out Gen Z is already offended by the movie, and just a whole hype of we ain't even
Before
seen
seeing the
the
movie?
before even right, it ain't even out
Right.
yet. Shut the fuck up. So, and this is just to get clickbait, of course. So
Yeah.
I am somebody who loves. I have loved them since I was a kid, the Wayans brothers. So I've loved them since Hollywood Shuffle. I've learned, but that's a little bit above my era because I think I was too young for that. But what really made me fall in love with them was In Living Color, and then Wayans Brothers, and then the scary movies, and then just even White Girl a little bit was funny to me. Just the Wayans Brothers in total, as Keenan Ivory Wayans, Shame, just the Wayans Brothers legacy as a comedy family.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful to me. Like they are like the Jacksons in comedy. They're like that is just who they are, and I'm so proud of them. Proud not only because of what they have brought to the culture, but also you rarely hear about these men. This is a group, a family of men, except it was one sister, Kim, and and you rarely hear about them in any kind of weirdo scandals. Like you rarely hear about them in on any kind of bullshit. I've never heard about them in any kind of scandals around like SA and any kind of weird shit. I just have never heard that. Violence. I haven't heard about them being violent to anybody. So this is a family not only that I respect what they contribute to the world as far as like their comedy and their career, but also respect them just because there's how many families put their family on like this. Like it's like Keenan came in the game and said, "I'm bringing my whole fucking crew, and I'm putting everybody on. My little brother's about to make some movies. They about to do this. I'm about to prove to do." It's
now
just
you got the third generation doing comedy too.
Third generation. They got their kids. They got even one of their sons is in the film. It's in Scary Movie 6. The new ones, a son we ain't seen before. And so, but Damon has his son on his show as his son. I respect them so much in regards to what they contribute to the culture, but also just how they move in the world as a black family unit and really just taking care of themselves and taking care of each other. And the fact that Marlon, one of my favorite ones, I like all of them, but Marlon and Keenan are kind of my favorites. But the fact that Marlon has a trans child and he is very openly supported his trans child and openly, I just love it. It makes me feel good. So one of the reasons why I went to support it is because of that, because I love them for various reasons. They don't make me ashamed. They don't make me feel like they haven't earned my money. So yeah, I went to the movies to support it because yeah, that's what it is. And so I was expecting, I'm not doing any spoilers, but I want to talk about the trans aspect of the movie. So of course, this is comedy. They gonna take shots at everybody. They're gonna take shots at everything. And so of course I knew that if Scary Movie is coming back with a movie, there's gonna be some kind of trans joke and trans, it's gonna be some kind of something with trans. And so I was like, okay, let me brace myself. And I don't know why I was surprised, but it wasn't given.
Wait, I don't know why I was surprised. I don't, like it is after that. I'm ready, but it's just
Yeah.
I don't know
I
why I was
don't know why I was
surprised.
surprised, but I guess I forgot that Marlon has a trans child. So of course it ain't gonna be too much. And so when I got in it and I learned that there's actually a trans character, a trans actor, and a trans character
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
Oh
the
yeah.
it's literally a trans character and a trans actor playing it. I was like, oh, what about to give with this? And while it was jokes, none of the jokes felt like it was punching down. None of the jokes felt like it was too far. It was trans jokes, it was shit like that, but it wasn't anything to me that was like too far. It just was like, oh, okay, this is, they them jokes,
Nothing that seems mean spirited or malicious.
Yeah.
Right?
no, it was just funny. It was good. It was it just was like, oh, okay, I see what they giving, and I loved it. So I want to shout out Benny Zielke. Benny Zielke is the trans non-binary actor who plays the trans character on the show, and they did a good job. They had a whole, I don't want to spoil anything, but it just the whole thing was tastefully done. I didn't sit there, I wasn't offended. It just was typical scary movie shit. The funny, silly, off the wall, making parody of scary movies, making parody of Sinners, making parody of
Okay.
whatever the scary movie of the time is. Get Out, whatever they have missed, they have put in the show and different cameos, and it's been really, really, it was fire. I loved it. So make sure y'all go see scary movies. So what I want to ask y'all is how do y'all I want to what how do y'all depict or differentiate a joke that goes too far a joke that is punching up instead of punching down? Like, what do y'all draw the line? How do y'all draw the line? Because I know I have a dark sense of humor, so everything isn't. I think sometimes to other people, I may go too far with my humor. So I want to know,
Ditto.
what are y'all lines when it comes to comedy and trans jokes, and
Mm.
or even race jokes or gender jokes, and where do y'all draw the line individually?
Ooh, this is an interesting question for me right now because, and I think I may have shared with y'all already, I am experimenting venturing into comedy. Venturing into stand-up comedy was my original goal, but recently I have been approached by a producer um, and writer to do a one woman show. Um, and of course, I would go a comedic route because that's how I feel most comfortable on stage. So this has been something that I've been contemplating a lot, and I've been trying to work around a lot. Ultimately, for me right now, when it comes to making jokes, if it doesn't feel good to me, even if people laugh, I'm not. I'm finding a confidence in myself and my ability to be comedic that I don't need to go for the low hanging fruit. So I'm no longer reaching for. I think I'm at that point now where I'm no longer reaching for approval from the crowd. I'm reaching for a internal approval. I'm reaching for some type of validation in me, like I'm contributing something great, but just doing it, expressing it through art. Um, so for me, I'm not as pressed to get people's attention anymore. So yeah, so if it doesn't feel good, but I also feel like I have an allowance in being comedic. I feel like I have a few different allowances in being comedic, and all of those allowances are marginalized identities. So I feel like I'm gonna get a pass when it comes to making race jokes because in the social hierarchy of race, I'm at the bottom, being a black person. Um, I think that I'm gonna get a pass when it comes to making gender jokes because I'm trans. I think I'm gonna get a pass on in a few different levels in a few different places, whether it's colorism, texturism, making various kinds of jokes. I'll get a pass. But for me, that is how I express my humor, and that is why my humor is so dark, because I've had a lot of dark experiences. I've unfortunately had to survive a lot of dark things, and so I think with me being so desensitized to things that people may consider morbid or extreme or radical, I think that's where my dark humor comes from. And I accept that, but yeah, that's where I'm at with it right now. I don't know if it makes sense to anybody else. All of the word salad I just threw up, but that's where I'm at with it right now. When it comes to other people and their humor, again, it's the same thing. If it doesn't feel good to me, it just doesn't feel good. Like I've listened to plenty trans jokes from cisgender people, and I found them funny and acceptable. And it's even been material that I done kind of stole and revamped it and made it my own. But when Dave Chappelle did it in that one comedy special that we all know what I'm talking about, it felt malicious. And it felt like it was coming from a negative, mean spirit place. And I understand that for a lot of comedians, that's where our humor comes from. That's where our jokes come from. That energy, that dark energy. But you are unsuccessful as a comedian if it's still dark when it comes out your mouth.
What about you, Jay?
I was thinking a lot of. I was thinking along the similar lines as you, Bree, when you mentioned just how you feel. If it makes me feel some kind of way, if it, when something feels fucked up. And I think that is a part of my barometer around certain things. That comedy special that Dave Chappelle did, there were things that were funny, and there was a whole bunch of shit that was not. You know, um, so that's kind of how I look at it. I enjoy, you know, was just using Chappelle as an example. It's like I enjoy smart comedy. That wasn't smart comedy. That was punching down. That was shitting on people. Like you mentioned, it was kind of a retaliatory thing. Um, and it was unfortunate because he typically is a really smart comedian when talking about other issues. But when it comes to trans folks, he just done some fuck shit. And that was a choice that he made. But yeah, when I do comedy, I try to, I'm not trying to offend people. I'm trying to tell a story. I'm trying to make a point. I'm trying to get a laugh. I'm not here to just, say stupid ass shit. But also when watching others, it's definitely a situation of how to, if something makes you go, it pings you. That's just what the fuck it is. And, to your point, Brie, like some people are more sensitive than others, but some shit is just not funny. Some shit is just clearly like you crossing the line, you're on some fuck shit, you do not respect trans people, you don't respect black people, you don't respect black women, you don't, like some shit is just very clear to me. That's how I look at it. You know, yeah, think about some of the folks that even set the table for some of these conversations. Moms Mabley. Think about, Richard Pryor. Think about, who am I talking about? Damn, tip of my tongue. Who wrote Pryor stuff? A lot of gay dude, but he's not gay. Paul Mooney.
Paul Mooney.
Right. In those jokes, you're also speaking truth to power, right? Like you're not just, a lot of that comedy was not just.
Shit, even Dick Gregory.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. Dick Gregory as well, right? Absolutely. So yeah, that's kind of my thing. How does this make if it makes me, if it hits the gut of my stomach and I'm feeling some kind of way, I'm feeling some kind of way. Like I can't ignore that response in my body. So there's a reason for that. Because the shit ain't funny. You know what I'm saying?
For me, I think I have a little darker threshold. Sometimes shit be funny to me that isn't funny to other people. I remember I ain't even gonna go into examples, but
Ah, don't get us canceled, bitch.
I ain't worried about getting canceled like that. But in my brain, I just for me, it's I'm not the funny bone police, baby. You can find whatever you
Mhm.
want to find funny or unfunny. I don't care. What really annoys me about people is when your jokes is rooted in ignorance, because I do like smart jokes. Like you just said, I
Right.
do like smart jokes. And so when somebody who I think is smart is telling a joke that is totally ignoring. Like there was because there like what y'all said, there are some if we're using Dave Chappelle as an example. There was some shit that's funny as hell with Dave. But sometimes he'll like I remember this one where he was making an analogy of the trans people was driving the car and they not running shit. And he basically talking about the other letters is kind of like
Yeah.
driving the cars around
Hmm.
there. And I'm like, Dave, like it's like right there. Like it's like right there for you to understand that you're ignoring the black and queer intersections here. And how can you do that? Like it is annoying me that you're doing it. I know you're making this choice because you want to make this little cheap ass joke, but it's right there. And so you're trying to make this learning because it wasn't a joke. It's like a learning lesson because
Right.
him similar to like um similar to like Bill Cosby. Sometimes Cosby form of comedy is telling a story, and there is a message or a didactic kind of message behind that's supposed to be teaching you something that point highlights some kind of imbalance or power, blah 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 blah. And Dave is usually good at that, but this didn't feel like there was a punchline coming at the end. It didn't feel like that particular one was what there was something he was building up to. And so I didn't really find it funny. It found like he was just trying to teach something, and you're not teaching anything. You're actually spreading misinformation because you are not looking at the intersections of black and trans people, and you're a black man. You should have the lens, you should have the lens to be able to say, yeah, white gays might do too much on a certain level, but understand that the people who are going to be affected by your rhetoric might not be them. It's going to be the black queers and trans and da 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 because we don't have the same power as them, and definitely not the same power as your rich ass. So when it's spreading misinformation or adding to the fuel of the political fire, that's when I hate it. That's when I hate it. But I don't. If it's a good joke, it's a good fucking joke. I don't find. I think recently one of the things that people kind of questioned was this Kevin Hart um
Yeah, that was
roast,
nuts.
and they were kind of pushing these racist jokes, and they're letting these fucking white men make these racist ass jokes. And so I've heard race-based jokes that were fucking funny and I cackled. I've heard race-based jokes that were delivered in a way that made me laugh my ass off. But sometimes your shit just ain't fucking funny. And I didn't find some of these it's cheap and it's not smart, it's not executed in a certain way. I don't find it funny to talk about somebody like a George Floyd's death. That's a particular sore spot for us as black people. So if you're doing that, it's weird. I just don't, and I hate, not once again, not surprised. I hate that Cheryl Underwood, the black woman, is the only one who really kind of called that shit out in the moment at during the roast. And so, but am I surprised? No. Um, but so I can't say that I have a definitive line. I definitely don't want you to be talking about making jokes about molested kids. I definitely don't want you to be making jokes about um, raping women. I've had heard some jokes delivered in a way about violence that's kind of funny. So yeah, for me, I have a darker sense of humor. So sometimes it might be some people be like, ooh, that's a little too far, but I'll be cackling a little bit. So I don't know. I don't really have a super definitive line, but
Mm.
I don't police other people what people should find funny either.
I hear. I thought the joke he made about trans people being at the bottom or like at the back of whatever, that joke around LGBT folks.
Mm-hmm.
I found it honestly a little bit insightful for people who don't know that. That's kind of how it landed for me. And maybe I'm not remembering all of it correctly, but I was like, huh, because you don't really hear cis people or non-queer and trans people be like, actually, even within this, there's some stratification in terms of how people are treated. We at all with the intersections too, you know. But that's how it landed for me. But um, anyway, yeah,
So anyway, let us
interesting.
know. Let us know. Have y'all seen Scary Movie 6? What is your line in regards to humor? Have you thought about your line? I know we've been having this conversation for a very long time in regards to humor. You know, people saying people are getting too sensitive. And, you know, I think when people learn more about race, learn more about gender, learn more about identity, some shit just get less fucking funny. It's not about being sensitive. It's just, oh, we know more and the shit ain't fucking funny. These jokes just punch it down and we don't like it. So
Right.
so yeah, let us know what you think about this discussion. Hashtag Marsha's Plate.
Get down.
Hashtag MARSHASPLATE. Child, honey, I got some celebrity tea for y'all today. Well, some female rap girly tea, honey. Well, rap girly tea to me, I hate the term female rapper. Anyway, I'm sure by now that most of y'all, if not all of y'all, are aware of the Cardi Latto beef. Well, the Cardi Latto beef has resurfaced and has become a point of conversation again. For all who aren't aware, essentially a recording of a phone call leaked. It was a phone call between Cardi B and Ice Spice's team. And in the call, Cardi B aggressively goes off. She's cussing and she says that she's not pussy like Latto. She was telling Ice Spice's team essentially that she was not like Latto, referring to Latto as somebody who was pussy, who was not as hard as she was, who was not as serious as she was, etc., etc. So after the phone call leaked and went viral, Cardi did a soft apology online. She offered to buy Latto a bag. Latto, we didn't hear anything from for a while. Latto recently dropped a project, and that's why the conversation is resurfacing. On the project, Latto essentially says, and I'm paraphrasing, but she essentially says that she don't need no bitch to buy her a bag, honey. Her man has bought her a closet full of bags, insinuating that her closet looks like a designer showroom, honey.
Her
And we need a
married man.
yeah, her married man, 21 Savage, honey. I don't know if she spoke about that on the album now, but anyway. Her and Cardi conversation have come back up because Lotto's also spoke about it on the Breakfast Club. She confirmed that the bars are in fact referring to the beef between her and Cardi. It appears as if, from my perspective, it appears as if Lotto isn't necessarily ready to reconcile. However, Cardi did put out a public apology on Twitter, a lengthy tweet, a couple of tweets, explaining that it was the heat of the moment. But she really does have love and respect for Lotto, and she hopes that they can reconcile. What is interesting and funny at the same time is that they currently have a collaboration. They currently have a collaboration record, baby, that you can find on all streaming platforms that is climbing the charts. So you can very likely hear it on any radio station at any given time of day as well. But my question to y'all is, have you ever been in a situation where you talk shit about somebody who you loved or cared about, an associate, a friend, a professional relationship, not family, but just somebody who you've grown to love, who you've met over time. Because I know that familial relationships are different. You know, we could cuss out family members all the time. You know what I mean? And that don't be shit, depending on the family member. You know what I mean? But have y'all ever had relationships where you really truly have respect for somebody, love somebody, and you've essentially talked shit about them, whether you've gotten caught or not?
I don't do that. I don't like to burn bridges. I don't, not for like work and shit like that. I can be honest, okay, but I'm not into let me shit on the person, just be shit on the person and talking good shit because you know organizing community shit. It's about relationship building. So I'm not trying to like burn down relationships over some
I got
bullshit.
a I got a question for you specifically, Jay, because you do have a
Mhm.
certain personality type. So for I think a way I can get you to answer this question and give some insight on how you would handle it. Has there ever been a time when you said something about somebody or said something to somebody you care about, you respect, and they responded to it negatively? Like maybe you said something and you didn't intend to hurt somebody's feelings, but apparently it really did.
Yeah, I've been in that scenario. I've definitely been in that situation. Not like I said, not too often because I try to. I'm a Libra, so I'm like, try to keep things chill. You know what I mean? But
Cardi's a Libra. So what are you
oh,
saying?
okay. Well, shit, that's Cardi. I mean, I suppose that's why Cardi's like, let me buy you some bags and let's kind of de-escalate the situation and check in, right?
Let me write a
Um,
letter.
yeah, right, and take it offline, right? Um, but yeah, I'm not into that. Now, I've been in scenarios where where I learned the culture was different. You know what I'm saying? Like where I'm from, people are more direct, right? And then I was in a culture on the West Coast where people are not as direct. And so, people took offense to things, and I was like, I didn't even know this shit was offensive. I'm just keeping it 100, keeping it a buck, And so that was something that was a learning curve. Um, that was definitely a learning curve. But it wasn't I don't like burn bridges. It just was like a learning curve, and I had to like step back from situations and make adjustments because they're not as direct. I'm used to it. You can just keep it a buck and talk about what's going on.
So what was
And
you doing? What happened? You was telling people they arms stank or something. You was
no, no,
offering
no, no. I'm
deodorant
just
and they
saying,
couldn't have.
like, if you see something that's a problem, this wasn't with everybody, but I'm just saying the culture overall of what I was experiencing. It was like, oh, this is not just about me. This is the culture here. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I gotta adjust because I'm not from out here. Versus like, oh, this is just an individual that took this the wrong way. That's very different than no, the culture of where you're at. They do not believe in calling things in the way that you're used to. And so folks can take offense to things that, 20 some years doing this kind of work and being in the community shit that I just was not, you know, I have not seen. But also in the height of, I think a lot of people kind of were in some shit in the height of what happened after George Floyd was murdered in 2020, and everybody's calling everybody out. Everybody's calling everything. That was a thing for a lot of people. So not just on the West Coast, but around the country. Um, it was a moment, but I
I
had
don't
to,
know
like
what
I
the
said,
hell.
I had to adjust.
I don't know what the hell you talking about, Jay. It sound like you talking in code, honey. You beating around all types of mulberry bushes. Diamond, what has been a, what has been a
Let me get my
situation?
charger.
It sound like Jay talking about somebody that he's trying to buy a bag for right now and is scared to talk about them. What have you ever been in a situation like that, Diamond?
So I had to really think about it. I have a I'm not a passive aggressive person. So I like to be very direct with people. I like to tell you what I think. I like to tell you what I feel. But I'm like that even like behind people's back too. So I'm never going to be lying on somebody. I'm never going to be if it's some tea, it's going to be some tea that I'm for sure about talking about. It ain't going to be, well, I heard that could be true,
Exactly.
could be not.
Exactly.
I'm not really that type of person. I'm like, this is what I know. I don't know nothing else. This is what I know. And I'm also a person that if I'm critiquing somebody, I'm not gonna be saying anything that I wouldn't say to your motherfucking face. So if I say something behind your back, it's something that I think that is my opinion, that I think is true. So if you come to me about what the fuck I said, I'm gonna be like, yeah, that's what I said. That's my opinion. That's what I feel about the situation. What's up? And like, what we gonna do? I'm that type of person, and so anything I say behind a person's back, it's just because you're not there, bitch. I could say it when you there too. That's the type of person that I am. But also, I'm very, very diligent in professional settings not to be in any kind of mess. So, like when I'm at work, I'm definitely at work. I'm not, there ain't gonna be no gossiping. There ain't gonna be none of that kind of bullshit. Now, the nuance of that in my life is that now in this iteration of my life, it used to be my professional career area. I wasn't friends with any of the people that I work with. But now in this iteration of my life, I am friends with a lot of people that I'm in a professional settings with. And so I have to be very, very diligent with keeping my opinions with people I'm not close to at bay, because sometimes I could be kikiing. Like, let's give one of my best friends, Brianna. Brianna, we go to dinner, we go partying, we going out drinking cocktails together. Both Brianna Jenkins and Brianna McCree. When we're out and me and Brianna travel together, when we're doing these things, sometimes work conversations come up. So there are going to be some personal opinions that I share with them that I would never share publicly or professionally in any other kind of way, but they are my friends. So there's gonna be a level of not being on guard that I have with them. There's going to be a level of vulnerability and transparency because I have confidence in them and I trust them they're not going to go back and talk about some personal conversation that I had with them on a professional level. So there's that. So, but I had to learn.
I got a question. So what you saying to us is that if you ever said that Brianna was pussy, they would already know that you would say it because you already told them to their face, bitch, you is pussy.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Hold on.
That
I just want to name that. That's it didn't come out that way, but that's what I'm saying too, Brie. It's like I'm not gonna say shit that I'm not gonna say to you directly. Actually, I probably will say it to you directly before I'll say it to anybody else because I want to be direct, right?
Right.
Because I care about you. I care about whatever the fuck. It's not coming from a place of being malicious or trying to be an asshole. It's coming from a place of care. That's for me, you know. But
now let me say
yeah,
this. This is another element of me that I had to check. I have been a content creator for shit almost 20 years now, child. The 2028 would be 20 years. Ooh, Lord. So, so anyway, you can't ever catch me in a lie because I'm never lying. I'm gonna tell you the same story that I told you 20 years ago. I'm gonna tell you the same story. When I told the story 15 years ago, I'm gonna have the same story. It's not gonna change. It's not because I'm telling you the truth. I don't tell stories that are not my stories or my opinions or da 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 da. So I can't keep up with that. I have ADD. I can't keep up with lies and shit. So I'm never gonna be telling no lies. So sometimes when I'm telling my business online, I'm telling stories that involve friends. And that can be problematic. Literally, I on this platform, I have told a story that now I don't think it was fair, but I literally have lost a friend that I'm not cool at all anymore because I told a story on Marsha's plate. It was a hypothetical story, and I used it just for the sake of having a good conversation. It was a hypothetical story. It was you get what I'm saying? I didn't use no names, but because she knew the behind the scenes, she was offended that I would talk about it on the show. And so she started to move weird because I was talking about the tea on the show without names. So it's not like I was putting and to tell a little, give more even more context. I had a conversation about friendships and how when friendship, remember, I don't know if y'all remember, a couple of years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, three, we had a conversation about what do we do when your two friends kind of battle, when your two friends is kind of into it and you don't kind of want to get involved. That conversation made me into friendship. And I used that conversation, the hypothetical of it, it mixed three different stories. So it's let me give you the stories. So I had a story about my two homegirls was getting into it because they were offending each other with some professional work stuff that they were helping each other with, or one was helping the other one, and it was a whole situation. And so I love both of these people, and so it was like, damn, I hate that they're falling out, but I don't want to get involved. But I'm listening to what's going on, and I understand everybody in the situation. Boo, boo, boo. These two, this middle one is the second story, and I blended all the story. If you go back to the episode, the second story was one person did something shady to the other person, and it kind of affected them financially, and it was like, ooh, that's shady. But I like both of these two people. And then the other one was my brother. My brother had and his best friend had some tension because my brother is a Democrat and his best friend revealed that he's a Trumper. And so my brother is like, the fuck? How the fuck you gonna be a Trumper? And you a black man. And then, so they had a whole tension because of that. So these three stories, I was inspired to bring to Marsha's plate and talk about it and give y'all a hypothetical that involved all three, and she was offended by it. She was offended, and it made her started moving very, very weird with me. And so I'm a zero tolerance friend. I cannot, you can't move weird with me because bitch, I'm done. I'm not a any kind of weird shit. I can't fuck with you. So we're not friends no more. And so because of that, I had to learn, and I didn't learn anything from the situation. It's just that this is me. This is what I do. And so I have to be conscious of what I talk about, even though I felt like I was protecting any identity. I felt like I wasn't using any names. I used a bunch of stories mixed together. I felt I was being safe. But what wasn't fair to me is I didn't feel like I was given the chance to either apologize or make it right or blah, 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 which is why I love Cardi B, because she at least get, which is when you talked about Latto not accepting the apology or accepting what I think you said, you implied something along the lines that Latto didn't wasn't really ready for the reconciliation. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I got the impression that through all the things that she was saying, that she's not ready to reconcile in that moment she was asked.
So I'm the type of person that if I give you the apology and you're not ready, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it, but I'm never gonna try to be your friend no more. So once I give you the apology and we can't move on and we work through it, and we don't get a you don't give it, you don't take the apology and we get a chance to work through it, I can't. I'm not kissing your motherfucking ass to be your friend. I'm not kissing your nobody at this age, at this big 45-year-old age. I'm not kissing no bitch ass to be their fucking friend. No, you don't want to be my friend. Cool, moving on. I have a great personality. I'm a good person. I do no bad things to people. So if you don't want to be Diamond Stylz friend, okay, girl, good luck. So I'm that type of person. Like once I apologize or and recognize, because I'm the type of person, I'm never too proud to apologize, even if like in this situation I didn't feel like I was wrong. Right. But you gotta give me a chance and let me know. But what happened was she was moving weird without letting me know that there was a problem. I don't find out it's a problem till months later. And so if you're not giving me a chance to apologize, you're not giving me a chance to show you that, yo, you're my friend. I love you. I'm going to respect your boundaries. That lets me know that you're either childish or you really don't want to be my friend. And then if you move in weird and doing extra late, tired, weird shit in response to me, because
Not
I'm
late,
also,
tired, and weird.
yeah, I'm also the type of person that if we're not friends, I'm also the type of person that's not going to be talking about people unless we have mutual friends. But if we don't, if we like mutual close friends, but I'm never going to be talking about you negatively to other people because at some point I loved you. And at some point, you were my friend. And so I know secrets about you that I would never divulge.
Right.
I never want you to be in no negative kind of situation because there's always a certain level of love there. And you haven't fought me, you haven't stole from me, you haven't done anything to me to make me feel like vengeful or vindictive. So I'm never gonna be talking shit about you. So if I see that we ended a friendship and you start being weird and doing shady shit and lying and your true colors come out because you feel slighted because I talked about you on the show, in that scenario, you're showing me the real you.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I can't be cool with you. I can't be friends with you. I can't be done. I can be done. I can be done. Anyway, that's long story short is I'm never gonna be talking about a motherfucker in a way that I can't say in their face. That's number one, because I'm a bitch that I said what I said, and I'm a bitch that's very much like, if you're confronting me, I'm gonna take it as aggression. And even if I didn't say what the fuck you bring it to me, I feel like you trying to get some motherfucking cool points or some street cred to confront me. Like you want to go back to your motherfucking homegirls and say, yeah, I asked that bitch, and she said no. I'm gonna say, okay, whatever the fuck you said, I said. Okay, let's say that I said it. What would you gonna do? Because I feel like you being aggressive, I'm gonna be aggressive back to you because I'm a street bitch too. So if I feel like you testing me, I'm gonna be like, yo, what was you gonna do if I did say that shit? Okay, I
My
said
God.
it. Act on what I said. What you gonna do?
Ask the court. Oh my God, you so ratchet. And I'm supposed to be the ratchet. And
Yo,
I'm supposed to be the ratchet one. Well, I can tell a personal story. And this story came back to me when this whole beef with Latto and Cardi kicked up. Now, based on the situation you telling me, Diamond, that brought up some feelings too. That brought up the feelings of why I'm so guarded. Like anybody who's ever met me in person, it's the critique that I get when people meet me in person that I'm really guarded. People, even before social media, people always got the impression that I was really guarded. And I am. Like it's when I let people in, you're fully all the way in, and it scares me because I need to know that you're the same type of person. And for me that literally it just takes time. It takes time. And it's nothing else. I just need time to see how you move. I need time to see your quirks. I need time to see you upset. I need time to see how you respond to trauma and all types of things to really let somebody in. So that is one of the reasons why I'm like that, the whole story that you just gave us. But also with this Cardi and Lotto beef, it brought up a situation, it brought up a lot of negative energy for me. I feel like I'm a prime example of something that a lot of people don't believe in, and that is growth and redemption. I was truly pre-transition. I was truly so unhappy in myself that it was a complete personality change in me transitioning. Um, I was truly genuinely, and that's why I think a lot of people call out certain people and certain personality types, people who are really malicious and messy. We call them out for self-hate because a lot of times that's where it's all coming from. I
mm-hmm.
was the epitome growing up. I was the epitome of the messy, mouthy, faggy, and all the bad in all the bad ways. I kept trouble started. I was lying on people. I was always talking about people in order to coerce other people to talk about people and get the scoop. Like I was like the messy reporter of the little small town honey. But under this facade of being cool and having love for everybody, which at the core of me, that's is the truth. I do genuinely have love for humanity in general, for people who just aren't hurting nobody else. I have no reason not to love you. Um, but back then I didn't love myself so much that I was living in like this crazy fog. But anyway, coming out of that, I remember trusting somebody who was supposed to be my best friend. And looking back, I know that it was because the I didn't understand the sisterhood between a lot of cisgender women that trans women don't exist in. At the time, I didn't know this. This was early in my transition. I was still trying to navigate my transition, and I was moving away from my girl group friends at the time who I had grew up with, and moving more towards surrounding myself with other LGBTQ plus people, other queer people. And yeah, the girls was some I thought this girl was somebody who I could confide in, and we were talking about another member of our girl group, and I was essentially telling this so-called friend that I was scared that this other friend wasn't gonna accept my transition and was gonna start acting differently. I was concerned about her being jealous because she had a reputation, or she had a history of seeming to be jealous of other pretty girls, and that was one of the reasons why most of her friends were boys, and now I was no longer a boy, or no long or was she no longer going to see me as a boy, and things changed. What I took for granted was the sisterhood that exists for a lot of cisgender women, the sisterhood that exists amongst them that trans women are not included in. And I wasn't included in that sisterhood. So that relationship had completely changed. It was no longer, her kikiing with her gay friend about her sister. Now it was this outside sister talking about something, and looking back, this is something that I am trying to process myself as well. Like, you no longer, I'm no longer seeing you as the little gay friend. I'm starting to see you as another one of the girls. And it's not something I'm sure I want to process. Right. So long story short, I regret having that conversation with her. That was one of those times where I was very much on the apology bandwagon, but of course, at the end of the day, me knowing my own self-worth is not something that stopped time. But I overall regret being a messy queen back then, because truly transitioning is it genuinely changed me for a lot. It genuinely changed me in a lot of ways. And I realized looking back that I was distracting myself with everybody else's mess back then because I didn't want to accept living in my own skin, or the skin that I was born in, or the way that I was expected to present. Yeah.
There's a level of being naive, right? And just kind of being new to how you're moving in the world. And I think obviously we were talking about it with the situation with Dominique, right? Like going from Nebraska to New York. That's not the same. It's just not the same. And how people think about community, where you like you're talking about, Dom, you have to dot every I, cross every T, worry about certain stuff, da 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 da. That's a different ball game than Los Angeles or San Francisco or New York. And I just never imagined some of the stuff that I observed once I was in like a place that's like, this is one of the main queer and trans places in the country, and this is like one of the, this is a major hub. That was just a different fucking ball game. After coming out 14, 15 years old, so all I ever knew was community. That's safety. So it was just crazy to see. I was like, wow, y'all, some people eating each other alive and all kind. It just blew my mind. And
There you go. That where you go with your regional discrimination shit again, honey.
I'm
You
just
didn't turn
saying,
my
it's a
subject.
different
You didn't
ballgame.
turn my subject into something completely different, honey,
No,
baby.
I'm just
But
realizing.
let
I'm
us
just
know
realizing.
what y'all think. Have y'all ever been in a situation where you've regretted something that you said about one of your friends, one of your associates, somebody who you're in close relation with? Let us know, honey. Hashtag Marsha's Plate. Hashtag MARSHASPLATE.
Gimme euphoria, more than peace of mind. It's the joy and space to change the tide. Gimme euphoria, more than peace of mind. It's the joy and space to change the tide. Gimme you. It's a feeling and a high you never come down from. Whoa.
All right. What is bringing y'all euphoria this week?
I'm gonna go first with the obvious. The Tony Awards, okay? Seeing folks from Cats, the Jellicle Ball perform, seeing folks from Ragtime, seeing Joshua Henry win. Again, they stole it from a girl, Michelle Lewis. I'm kind of still a little hurt that she didn't win. But yeah, watching the Tonys is a thing. I got a group of friends, we call ourselves the Divas, that I've known since elementary school, but particularly middle school and high school, because we all used to be in a lot of shows together. We did forensics together. And we often will get together to watch the Tonys, especially back then. A three-way call, another person get on the three-way call, and then we all on the call. So I appreciate that. So that's bringing me euphoria this week. What about you?
Child, it's the obvious, and have mine is the obvious as well. And having these conversations, honey, I wasn't even prepared to share that with y'all, but yeah, I did get an offer from a producer to potentially do a one-person show. And I'm excited about that. I mean, regardless of where it goes, just somebody offering me, thank you, just for somebody offering me that opportunity, just in somebody seeing it and me and saying it out loud and other people immediately trying to jump on board, like it has given me assurance, if nothing else, that people think that they can make money off of my gift. So it's definitely something I will pursue, and I am going to pursue, and I'm excited. What about you, Diamond? What's bringing you euphoria?
Is God is. Is God is. Go see that damn movie. That movie was so dope. It is unapologetically black. It is if it's fresh and new, but some of the themes around how it plays out is it feels like Shakespearean, like older, or I hate to make Shakespearean like a standard, but y'all know what I mean. It feels like
Can I offer a possible word for me? Different. It felt different but refreshing.
not just
Mm,
different. That doesn't speak to what I'm trying to say. It's something that calls back to old stories like the Odyssey and Iliad and Macbeth, and like something older in its construction, where it feels powerful enough to kind of transcend time in regards to how the storytelling did. It felt older. And so
mm,
different in the sense of it was unapologetically black, and you can tell that these are black people who are creating this and care about it, because all there's little small details. Not to I'm not gonna This is not a spoiler, but because we know what happens in the trailer, so that Vivica Fox plays a burned mother. So we know that that's on the trailer. When you first see her, she is getting taken care of, and her hair is being braided, her nails is done, even though she's burned. Her nails is done, her like acrylics, and she's getting her hair braided. And it's there's elements to this story that that a black person created this. And yeah, I fucking loved it. It was amazing. So make sure y'all check it out, and make sure you go to the theaters and check it out. And if you can't, make sure if you bootleg it, make sure you do a review, as I said earlier. But it is seeing actors and actresses that I love play roles. I love Vivica Fox. We graduated from the same high school. She's from Indianapolis too, and and she like literally her mother still goes to the same church. Like Vivica Fox is indie Barbie doll. Anyway, she graduated in 1982. Then who is the guy that plays the dude that has a tongue, that the lawyer, the guy? He plays Bubba Gump on Forrest Gump. He plays Bubba Gump and he's amazing. I love his character. And of course, I have a lustful crush on Sterling Brown. That is my boo. That's the husband in my head, even though I know he married. I love him. He is so cute and so chocolate and so fine. I love him. But they all play their roles. And the two new actresses, I love when they introduce new people instead of picking the same motherfuckers that's been in Hollywood. They put two beautiful Black women to play these roles and they kill it. It is just amazing. And so, yeah, God is my euphoria this week.
I got a question before you close that out. Was or was not Is God is? Didn't that start as a play?
Yes, as I said earlier, she's the first person to go from I wrote this play, put it out as a play, adapted it, and now I'm directing it, and it's a film now. And so other people have done various versions of that, but she's the one who has done it all the way through as a, Black woman. And it is fucking amazing. It was successful as a play and it's brilliant. It is brilliant. I love it. Oh, and fucking Janelle Monáe looking gorgeous and stunning. It's just amazing. It's just amazing. I love it.
I just wanted to point out the how this conversation came full circle, and you gave shout out to one of the new stars in the movie, and she's on Broadway right now.
Mm-hmm.
How this conversation has just come full circle.
Yeah. Let us know what is bringing y'all euphoria this week, and we will see y'all next week.
Hasta luego.
Bye, y'all.
Well, that's it. Thank you for coming and getting a taste of Marsha's plate. You can listen to us on iTunes and SoundCloud. Make sure you leave a review because we really need those 5 stars, y'all.
And go like our Facebook page and leave some comments. We'll be posting exclusive content every Thursday, so you definitely don't want to miss out.
You can also follow us on Twitter and any other social media site at Marsha's Plate. If you'd like to donate or advertise with us, hit us up at diamondstylz@gmail.com. That's Diamond STYLZ@gmail.com.
And that's it for us, y'all. Bye.
Bye.
You gonna say bye, Mia?
Oh, bye, y'all.
Every little thing's gonna be alright. Don't you worry about a thing. Baby, it's gonna be alright.